Why, hello there, nice to hear. I hope this video finds you well. In fact, I just hope you're doing well in general. Today, I'm bringing you a summary of a knife I've done a full review on, and the full review will be linked in the description. This is the Hinderer XM18 3.5 Auto. This is a USA-made knife. I mean, Hinderer is pretty iconic at this point. I don't think I have to explain that. If I do, and there is new people to the knife world here, Hinderer has been around for quite a while, making for pretty darn solid and pretty darn popular USA-made knives. For a long time, there was a very big sort of lack of Hinderer availability, but that has mostly corrected itself, and you can pretty much get one if you're really looking. They are expensive, as USA-made knives are. And these are definitely premium too. I mean, this is full titanium here, and this particular one is in 20 CV, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more in a second, but just take a quick overlook. Obviously, as this is not the full review, which will be linked in the description again, I'm not going to waste my time talking about the blade length, because it's the Hinderer XM18 3.5. Can you guess what the blade length is? Yes. It's 8 1/4 overall. Other specs on the full review. This is honestly a wonderful design. It is. It's super practical. It's super comfortable. It's a good design. 100%. Drop point blade with this stone wash that's extremely softened and reflective and beautiful. Hinderer does an excellent job with their stone wash finish. It feels different and good than, like, different and good. Different than most other companies' stone washes. It's just more soft, more reflective, more like polished kind of. Medford does another one. That's another USA-made company that does a good one. Their finishes on their blades, even if certain aspects of their knives are maybe not beautifully thought out occasionally, but this one suffers from the same issues. Not the same issues, but issues. It's thick. That's the issue with the Hinderers. They're very thick. They've got a thick blade stock, thick behind the edge. It's a very thick knife. In fact, because I think this is always important for Hinderer, 165 thousandths in the blade stock, and the XM24, which is even bigger, goes even thicker for some reason. I don't know why, but it does. And behind the edge, while it is a mere 13.5, it rapidly gets thicker. The grind is just not super thin, and it's not super tall. Like, if they did a full flat grind, they could actually make this thing really good. But, it is what it is. They're definitely geared towards being sort of harder use knives. There is an argument that, and personally, I don't actually like CPM 20 CV on their knives. That's basically M390. At M390, they run it soft. They do. It may be with the intention of adding toughness, but M390 does not gain that much toughness at lower hardness ranges, especially versus how much edge retention and potential it loses. M390 needs to be run harder. However, they do often offer S45VN. And from what I know, and the little experience I've had with it, with a different Hinderer that I no longer have, mind you, but a different Hinderer, the S45VN is better. It's more appropriately heat-treated. I prefer that. The only reason this one's in CPM 20 CV is this was actually the first run of these autos that came out. And this is what it originally came out in. They have since done some S45VN autos, which have tempted me, but not just yet. Not just yet. It always gets pushed off because, I mean, I have one. I don't need to necessarily... I'd prefer a new design, basically. But, yeah. Hinderer logo here. Like seeing that. The horse head, even without the words, with the words, it doesn't matter. They're super small. I actually like the logo there. I don't love the logo there. Don't know why it needs to be there. And I don't know why USA needs to be quite that big, but I'm not complaining there, but this just doesn't need to be there. I don't like it on Chris Reeve knives. I don't like it on this. That's more than sufficient. This one is a drop point. I think they consider this a spear point blade. Definitely a thick tip. I mean, it's definitely sharp. It's solid. You've got, I mean, can I call that jimping? It's two jimps that are really kind of pointless unless you're like in gloves and really pushing into them. Otherwise, they're just kind of, they're a mix between there or pushing into them and kind of uncomfortable, honestly. Don't really need them, especially considering the knife has so much other jimping. I don't quite get this jimping, but sure. Plunge grind and sharpening tool is excellent. The stop pin does, however, and this is something I don't think I even noticed in the full review, hits awfully close to behind the edge. Like, why is that stop pin there? Because that is a stop pin in the open position. Just push that forward and down a little bit so it's hitting underneath, like down here. As it is, it hits like right up in here. And that is unnecessarily close to the actual blade edge. You're still going to get a solid amount of life, more life than you're going to need. Like that's the amount of life you have on this knife because it's just too thick at that point. So it's fine. But if they ever do better geometries or not better geometries, thinner geometries, more universally functional geometries, that really just needs to be pushed slightly forward. And I don't understand why it's not, because there's absolutely no reason you couldn't just move that stop pin forward in the frame and have it stop earlier. It's bizarre. But it's there. This is a push button auto out the side, so of course there's a spring in there, and it fires the blade. It's not like the heaviest, snappiest fire. It feels strong, but it doesn't feel like the fastest kind of real heavy hit. But it definitely does feel strong. There's no play. I mean, Hinderers are almost always solid. I've had 3. They're always centered. I've never had a trouble with play. I've never even messed with a pivot on a Hinderer, which is good because Hinderer has an absolutely bizarre design philosophy when it comes to hardware. As you can see, this is a slit, Phillips head, I guess, slit. There are probably better ways to do that. I've never messed with one because I didn't want to deal with that crap. The actual hardware is hex, I believe, though T8 does work. And the pocket clip is Phillips for some reason, or flathead. I said Phillips. Flathead and Phillips. Why? I don't know. I mean, since you're going with big hardware, just put T10s and T8s all around, or stick to just big hex or something. It's a little bit much, but it's always been done that way, right? This knife, I'm pretty sure this knife is on... It could be on bearings. Hinderers have a tri-way pivot system. I don't know, this one doesn't have the mark for the tri-way pivot system, where they can be on bearings or different types of washers. This feels kind of like it's on washers, but it's really hard to tell because you have the spring pushing you back open. So it might be bearings, might be washers. It doesn't matter. It feels good. It feels solid. Yeah, it's great. The choke-up position, the forward choil, works wonderfully, beautifully. The standard knife has a flipper tab. There is a non-flipper, and of course this one, not needing a flipper, being an auto, gets rid of the flipper. And honestly, the flipper delete is the way to go. This is comfortable. This is usable. This is wonderful up here. And it's wonderful back here, honestly. Ergos are just, yeah, great for Hinderer. Titanium scales, full titanium scales with some milling inside and some texturing on the outside. This is what really sold me on this knife. Most Hinderers are titanium lock bar, lock side, and G10 up front. There have been some recent, particularly in the Eclipse ones I know, where you've had thin titanium and G10 scales on both sides, which is very tempting because it carries through the design elements throughout the knife, and that's like one of my big pet peeves when you just have a different handle material or all of your design on the show side and then just this flat slab of titanium on the backside that doesn't carry through at all, I don't like that. It has definitely kept me away from Hinderers for the most part, and it's why the two Hinderers that I did have, a non-flipper Eclipse and non-flipper XM18 3.5, are no longer with me. They had blue G10 scales on them, and they just didn't do it for me. Technically, you can get a front titanium scale for a Hinderer. However, it's $200, and the XM18 that I had, that I would have considered it for, would have just been a flat titanium scale. Yes, there's a textured titanium scale, but that texturing would not have carried through to the whole design. Like, this texturing, this is something they hadn't done before this one. Normally, it's just a flat slab of titanium. So the only way I could have actually gotten and been satisfied is if I got the flat slab front scale for the Hinderer XM18 non-flipper that I had, and I didn't want to pay $200 for a flat titanium slab scale that just made a rather boring looking knife overall. This, however, is a whole different story. Texture, just nice little touches. I mean, it doesn't take a lot. Just carry this design throughout and just give us a little bit of something, something. And this texturing pattern, this sort of, I don't even know what to call that, a wire sort of fencing texture pattern? I don't know. It's wonderful. And because they have such a nice softening and polish on their finishing on the ano and the stone washing that they do on their knives, it's like perfect to give grip but not be sharp. It's, yeah, this is top notch, top tier. I love the look of this knife. Absolutely. 100%. Big, thick standoffs. You have jimping in here and here and here, and yeah, it probably does something in gloves, but I mean, it's giving you just a tiny bit of traction. As I said, this one's only really for gloves, but yeah. It's great. It's great. It's great there. Pocket clip is very simple. Titanium fold-over, bent-over clip. Normally, Hinderer's clips come tip-down mounted. This one doesn't even have a spot for it. It came this way, tip up, which is nice. I don't mind them having a spot for the tip down, but I mean, I don't mind them not having a spot for the tip down either. The clip, despite its simplicity, yeah, it works. It's got a continuous rise. It's not too tall. The bill is not too tall. It's got nice retention, nice flex. This one will cut up your pants a little bit due to the fact that it's got this texture pattern underneath there. But as long as you're careful, it shouldn't be too bad. It shouldn't. It's not like contoured titanium. You're very rarely going to see contoured titanium coming out of US. I guess it's just too expensive, but it feels about as ergonomic and comfortable as you can get. It's just super accommodating. It's a good knife. A little thicker than I'd like. It's definitely something where I would like to see a hollow grind, but I'm also not sure I want to do a hollow grind knowing that the steel's probably a bit softer than I want it to be. Maybe if I ever get another one, which I do want a Bowie one, I'll be honest. I'll try to get one in S45 and put a hollow grind on that or something like that. That'd be cool. Yeah, they're good knives. They're great knives. But they're expensive. USA made, relatively smaller batch knives. This isn't a super large USA made production company. It's large, but they're not something like Microtech or ProTech. Those are much larger. This is a $425 knife in its base flipper configuration. And honestly, I don't really feel like that's too far out of where it should be. This knife, as it sits, is around $650. That hurts. It does. However, when you consider the fact that the base knife, if you get the titanium scale for $200, is, a $625 knife, the fact that you're getting texturing, automatic internal pieces, you have spring, you have all this other stuff that makes it function, the added complexity really kind of justifies its price. It's expensive. It's not something that most people are going to want to get, but yeah, I'm not actually upset with this thing, weirdly enough. It feels like it's right where it should be. Would I love to see it $100 less? Sure, of course. But, I mean, you're getting a rock-solid knife that, while predominantly harder use, is going to hold up pretty well, in my understanding. I mean, sometimes some of the older Hinderers I know had a little bit of a lock, like rock or something like that, or slip, but occasionally you would find one like that. I have not found anything issues-wise on this knife, and yeah, it's a nice USA-made knife, so. End things here, I had a lot to talk about. Also, fun fact, they kept the little scallops here, or the little curvature, where normally what would be hitting there would be the stop pin, because it's an external stop pin and thumb stud, on the regular knife. They kept that in the pattern, even though there's nothing there. I just think that's funny. So, Hinderer XM18, automatic. I like it. It's expensive. Lanyard hold, not deep carry. I mean, it's definitely subjective. It's doing some things. It's not sort of one of these ones where it's like, oh, this is definitely going to appeal to everyone, and of course, a lot of people aren't even considering the price point. But it is a good knife, and I really like it. So, that's it for me. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Maybe consider subscribing. See you.